Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast.
Any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
You're only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
What?
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son.
What?
I'm not ready for you.
Give me a hell yeah.
We are back and better than ever. Welcome once again to the Enhancement Talent Podcast, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We appreciate you stopping by. I am your host, Brock Fluker, and I am joined, as always, by Chris Kirby.
Hola.
So, this Thursday, we're coming down from the WrestleMania high Sunday.
Yeah, I'm so tired still from it.
I still feel sluggish from just being in a car that long.
Yeah.
So,
well, you figure what, 24 solid hours just driving there and back.
Yep. But we're getting things back to our regular routine now.
Trying to.
And saying that, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. We're not gonna go through a full detailed review like we normally would.
There's almost no point for this week.
No. So, I've got mostly just the bullet points of Raw and SmackDown that I feel like actually need to be talked about. And then after that, we're going to try to predict the superstar shakeup, quote unquote.
Or at least some of them.
Or as I will call it, the draft.
No, that's what it used to be.
Because everything has to have a slogan now.
Well, it was the draft, then the lottery. Or lottery, then the draft.
Did they call it the lottery?
I thought they did at one point. At least 1 year.
Maybe.
And then now it's a superstar shakeup.
Yeah. Very WWE-like.
Yeah, they gotta take names away from stuff and add more to others.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll get into the Raw, quote-unquote, review. We're not going to cover a ton, but I guess we'll start with Baron Corbin. He came out to gloat about his win over Kurt Angle. Got great heat. They told him to shut the fuck up and called him an asshole.
I thought it was funny they told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this was like Roman Reigns after he beat The Undertaker, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they were loud, too. There was no denying what they were saying.
Yeah. And so, which I liked because he was just like, very classy, New York. And he was interrupted by, guess who? Kurt Angle.
Which I don't get why.
Who is supposed to be retired.
Exactly.
Who we were told last Monday it would be his last night on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Or no, did they say last night or last match?
No, they said it was his last night on Raw. And I particularly remember it.
Okay. Because I know they use that just to mess with people, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, there was no reason for Kurt Angle to be here, but
this was just a waste of time.
Did it anyway. He extends his hand to Baron Corbin and tells him that he was the better man on Sunday. And as he's shaking his hand, he says he wishes him all the luck in the world. Yes. And as he continues to grasp his hand, he then says, bad luck. And then he hits him with the angle slam. He puts him in an angle lock. And Corbin eventually scurries out of the ring.
I mean, he should have thought something was up with a left-handed handshake. Nothing good comes out of that.
Yeah, Graves even pointed that out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. Or one of them did.
But this would lead to the debut for Lars Sullivan, who I'm sure in no time will be known as Lars.
Or Sullivan.
It's got to be Lars.
Probably. Because they had a Kevin Sullivan.
I wouldn't mind if he was just called Lars, honestly. It still sounds good.
For him, it fits.
Yeah.
But there was no point to this. It was a wasted debut.
Why do you say that?
Because Angle ain't nobody anymore. He didn't put Lars over.
Well, I think what they're going for with Lars, because he attacked the Hardys the next night.
Yeah.
So I think they might be going for like a Legend Killer-esque gimmick.
I hope not. We already got one of them.
Well, we had one.
We still have one. Orton.
He's not a Legend Killer anymore.
Well,
It's not 2007.
He's still the legend.
He is the legend now.
I guess, yeah. It's been long enough. He is the legend.
Yeah, so either way, it was good to finally see Lars on TV.
I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, he's big, but he's not very tall.
No, but he's agile.
Yeah.
I mean, that big headbutt off the top rope.
Which I don't like seeing anyone do that headbutt. I wish that was a move that just nobody did.
Well, I mean, they're talking about all the concussion problems. Why would you allow it?
Yeah, and we know the history of that move, that you can go to Benoit and you can go to Daniel Bryan. And I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan stopped doing it.
I haven't seen him do it in a while.
The last time I remember him doing it was when he tried to hit Benjamin with it, and Benjamin rolled out and they bumped heads.
Yeah.
Which, thankfully, he was okay from that.
But, I mean, this is one of those moves that makes no sense at all. With everything going on, you know, with the concussions and CTE and all that.
Yeah.
It's asking for...
And it's very unprotected when you just look at the landing.
Now, I mean, yeah, it is. And I'll admit, his headbutt goes to the chest.
Yeah, but...
And that's good.
That's pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for error there.
I mean, you slip just a little bit, you're going to overshoot, undershoot, or hit somebody else in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, total waste. I would not do this move. It's just...
I mean, it looks good.
Oh, it looks good.
Coming from Tim, particularly,
yeah,
I think.
It's just asking for trouble.
I agree. And he's he's a big, dominant guy. Like, you don't need that kind of move anyway.
No, he should not be on the top rope. I'd be like Braun Strowman going to the top rope. There's no point.
Yeah, there's no need to.
Or Ric Flair.
It's like all of the big guys now just want to prove that they are also agile.
Well, maybe they feel they have to.
Which I feel like is something that you can save for a big moment that you might pull out once in a while.
Yeah.
Like Strowman, occasionally will go to the top rope. Most of the time it'll end up in a superplex breaking the ring or something.
Yeah, it should. I mean, big guys just don't need to be up there. But,
no, there's no reason for it.
No.
But keep moving. We had Alexa Bliss returning to the ring.
Finally.
She is finally back on television in the ring, which, cool. She squashed Bayley.
Quickly.
And this was very reminiscent of just about every match Alexa Bliss and Bayley have had. Doesn't go long. Alexa hits a DDT out of nowhere and wins.
It's almost like every Bayley match without Sasha in it.
Yeah, largely, unless it's against the Riot Squad.
Well, I meant singles.
Yeah, unless it's against one of the Riot Squad.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody squashes them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's what it reminded me of. It was like...
So, I guess this means Bliss is still a heel, though.
She's always been a heel.
But she's kind of like flipped back and forth.
She's a favorite heel.
During her interview segments, I feel like she's been a babyface and then a heel and then a babyface and then a heel.
I think she's one of those like a Strowman or the Becky Lynch problem where they tried to turn her heel and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I think she gets over as a heel. And people like it.
Yeah. I don't think it's to that degree, but
it may not be.
I think there is a good portion of the audience that likes her.
Oh yeah.
But didn't like what this did for Bayley, especially after just losing the titles.
So you totally skipped over the tag title match?
Which one? The
Ryder and Hawkins?
Oh yeah, I didn't even cover that.
Yeah.
Ryder and Hawkins won.
With a fucking roll up.
Yeah.
The same way they won the titles.
Well, Hawkins just got him again. He's the master of the roll-up.
I know. I just couldn't believe another roll-up.
Well, I think that's what they're going for with them. It's just that they're getting lucky.
So next year we should chant Roll-Up Mania?
Probably. Dean Ambrose, or actually, let me get this one first.
Yeah.
We had a Becky Lynch promo, and she was interrupted by Lacey Evans, who walked down the ramp, and she made you think that she was just going to turn around and walk back, and then she hits Becky with a women's right, as it's called.
It looked like a hard right.
Yeah, it did look good.
It looked stiff.
It looked like it was like right at Becky's ear almost.
Yeah.
And
not the jaw that she was holding.
Yeah. So Becky took this punch, and then Lacey Evans tried to leave. Becky chased her down. They brawled for a little bit. Lacey Evans looked like Bambi on the ice with her heels on, sliding up and down the ramp.
Yeah, couldn't hardly stand.
And it ended with Becky trying to put in a disarmer, but Lacey Evans was able to
slide off
the stage and get separated from her.
I mean, I think this was a nice introduction.
Yes. So
because we've been asking what the hell's going on, and now we know.
But here is a point I do want to make, is that if you were going to do this and you were going to set up Lacey Evans as Becky's next challenger for one of the two titles, then why didn't Lacey enter the Battle Royal on Sunday and win the Battle Royal?
Why? The winner don't get nothing.
Yeah, but then you're building forward momentum for her instead of just coming out of nowhere.
Okay.
Because that's how you make the Battle Royal mean something. Is that win propels them.
It hasn't yet.
I know. That's why I'm saying you do that so you fix that problem.
But I mean, why would they start that now? They haven't done it the last 2 years.
I'm not saying that they will. I'm saying they should.
Oh, they should? Well, yeah, they should. They should do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did enjoy the fact, I know I bitched about how she just comes out and leaves, but I like how they did this part where she just came out and jacked her in the jaw and left.
Yeah. And they did the same thing on SmackDown, but on SmackDown, I think Lacey Evans ended up laying out Becky.
Yeah.
And just leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was that. Which, I guess it'll depend on what brand Lacey goes to as to which one of the championships she's going to go after.
Well,
And if she goes to SmackDown, maybe Becky will drop the title to Lacey Evans.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Because I don't know how long they're going to have her keep both titles. They're not unified. They refer to them separately.
Yeah, unless they plan on unifying them, but I don't think they are.
And as we just saw on the websites, it even lists both titles differently.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, Bliss, it was rumored that Alexa Bliss was going to challenge the winner of the triple threat. So are they going to turn it into another triple threat?
I remember that, well, they could each challenge for a different title.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so
come Money in the Bank, Becky could probably have two different matches against both of them.
Well, I was saying one triple threat. If Lacey wins, she gets the SmackDown title. If Bliss wins, she gets the Raw.
Nah. I like the idea better of, at least during this run, of Becky having two different matches, like, throughout the card to defend both titles.
Oh, no, I agree with that. But I also know how they like their multi-person matches.
Yeah, that's true.
Why have two matches with 3 people when we can have one match with 100?
Yeah. Right. We had Dean Ambrose was supposed to have his final match.
Rico Black.
I skipped them.
Well, you at least got to mention that they won or lost.
Well,
people are listening sometimes.
Did you miss the whole point where I said we're going to go over bullet points?
Well, isn't it a bullet point at least to name the match?
No, it wasn't important.
Well, Rico Black went against Rude and Gable. Rico Black won.
Yeah, and then Rude and Gable attacked them after the bell.
Briefly.
To reestablish that they're heels.
Yeah, like we didn't already know.
Dean Ambrose was supposed to have his final match on Raw against Bobby Lashley.
Didn't we already have this segment? Wasn't he supposed to be gone after WrestleMania? That's why he wasn't on Mania.
Well, they never said that on television.
No, they never announced it, but I'm just saying that's what I thought.
Yeah. Who knows? But either way, this was the first time that they said that this will be his last night.
His final WWE match is what they said.
And it never started.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of disappointed. At least we didn't get a bell or something.
Instead, Lashley made some comment about Renee Young.
But yeah, he'd take care of his wife.
And that led to a brawl. And Lashley puts Dean Ambrose through the announce table.
Yeah.
And Dean was helped to the back, and that was the last we saw of him on TV. And the live crowd there would get the official farewell after the show.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you've seen that, right?
Yeah, when Roman and Dean came down the ring.
If you haven't seen it, it's all over YouTube. It's even on WWE's official YouTube page.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, there was plenty of fan recorded video of it right after.
I mean, I don't know what was said or done. I know they did the fist bump one last time, but that's all I saw.
Oh, okay. Well, my highlight of that was that Ambrose talked about that when they debuted in TLC and had their 6-man tag match against Ryback and whoever else it was, that Arn Anderson called them 2 indie schmucks and a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was humorous, and the crowd chanted, "Please don't go." And Seth said, "I already tried that. It's not going to work."
I think we'll see him again shortly in AEW.
Yeah.
My opinion. He could go elsewhere, but
he could take a break before going there.
Well, I think he will take a little break.
And I think that he's probably extremely burnt out right now.
Well, and I think going to AEW, he's going to have to find a new gimmick.
Well, he can always refer back to the Jon Moxley character that he played up until WWE.
Well, yeah, but that didn't make him famous like Dean Ambrose.
Well, it did. Like, he was very popular.
I never heard of him.
Among people that actually watch indie wrestling.
Oh. I mean, he didn't make a name like I would hear.
Well,
but not many indie stars do.
Yeah, that's a matter of who you're working
But
for.
I heard of AJ Styles before.
Yeah, but AJ Styles wasn't AJ Styles worked for TNA when they were on network television and probably had more viewers than Raw does right now.
Oh, okay. I thought he was on the indies back then. I didn't know. I didn't watch him.
I don't consider TNA at that point an indie promotion.
No. TNA, no.
Because
I consider ROH.
Yeah, ROH is more New Japan, which is also where AJ works. Like, to us, it's not as popular, but really to the diehard wrestling fans, it's one of the most popular. And in Japan, it's obviously the most popular there.
Well, yeah.
Nonetheless, though. Yeah.
We're going for a record short show here.
Yeah. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about Ambrose. Because I'm curious if everyone still thinks this is a work.
I can't answer that because I really don't know. I could see it not being a work. I could see it being a work. I just don't know.
I feel like I've been the one here, since the beginning, saying it's not a work.
And you have been. It was just weird. Why would they announce it back in January? They've never done that before.
Yeah.
So, and being that it was his idea, as in Ambrose's idea to do this and announce it so early, it made it seem like it was a work.
Yeah. I don't know. It just... I feel like as wrestling fans, we have this, stigma that everything that ever happens, we have to scream that it's a work.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just not.
I think there's people that wake up in the middle of the night, just mid-dream, just going, it's a work. It's a work. It's a work shoot. It's a shoot work.
Yeah. Well, I just don't... I don't get it. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's done with WWE. I really do.
At least for now.
Well, I mean, I think he'll come back years later.
Yeah, you never know.
He hasn't really done anything other than the Shield that's noteworthy.
Right. I mean, he was the WWE champion for a short time.
Briefly, but, not long enough to remember, really.
No, he was always the odd man out in the Shield, it felt like.
Yeah.
After.
But I liked it. I liked him.
Yeah.
It just sucks they didn't push him like they pushed Rollins or Reigns.
Yeah. And I always felt like Dean was really the one that could have been the heel character coming out of the Shield.
Oh, yeah.
But they went with Rollins instead, and Rollins did a really good job.
Yeah, I think Dean would have done better.
But I also don't see Dean in that same role because I don't feel like Dean was like the corporate heel.
No.
I don't feel like that's in him.
No. A regular heel, yeah.
Yeah, like...
just a regular heel.
Yeah.
But no, corporate heel, no, I don't... It just didn't...
Rollins, I think, at that time did fit that.
Yeah, it suited Rollins a lot more.
And obviously, their main goal coming out of the Shield was to get Roman over as much as they could.
Yeah, let's shove him down our throats till we puke.
But Dean always just felt like the odd man out there.
He did.
Next, unless you want to mention anything else, we had Sami Zayn returning.
Yeah, heel Sami Zayn.
Well, we didn't know that at first.
Well, no, but we're not going through the match, so I figured I'd announce it.
Yeah, so Sami Zayn did what I called a reverse open challenge. Because somehow Sami Zayn proposed an open challenge, and Finn Balor came out and accepted, who is, of course, the Intercontinental Champion. And just before the match starts, it's announced, oh yeah, this match is for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
I would have rather they did this the other way around, that Balor comes out and does an open challenge, and Zayn answers as a surprise.
I would have liked to see that more.
But instead, they showed Zayn walking to the ring before, the backstage thing that they do. They spoiled it before he even came out.
Yeah, it's like, oh cool, Sammy's here.
Yeah.
And then comes back from commercial and he's in a match.
Yeah, so Balor and Zayn had a good match. Balor ends up winning with the coup de grace. And after that, Zayn cuts a heel promo.
A good one.
Yeah, and I didn't quote anything, but he just said that the fans,
Basically, he didn't miss anything.
Yeah, he didn't miss the fans because WWE is a toxic environment, and it's not because of anyone else but the fans who only feel validation and self-importance by critiquing the wrestlers.
But that's what we're supposed to do. It's our job as viewers is to critique. And our boos and yays are what passes and doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between... You can only critique so much, though, without going too far, and a lot of fans do.
Okay, and I know we have to, at some point, here and there.
I don't think so.
Maybe not on him, but I think if we went back and listened to our shows, I bet we did at least a couple times.
I don't feel like we don't really critique the wrestlers that much, though.
No, not really. Now, we'll critique their moves, or lack of. Just some people that don't have big move sets, like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He don't have a big move set. He's got 5 moves, and that's the match.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, I'll critique what I feel necessary to, and I mean, at the end of the day, our words are just that.
Yeah.
We're not in the position that they are, and
we don't work for creative.
No.
And neither does Road Dogg anymore.
Huh?
Oh, you didn't hear?
I did. I thought he was still heading SmackDown.
As of yesterday, I think it was, he resigned from that position.
I didn't see that.
He was tired of Mr. McMahon changing the script every week at the last minute.
I hadn't seen that.
And there was another writer that got canned. I
saw the headline of a writer getting fired or something.
Yeah, so basically, we lost 2 writers in a week. And I think one was Raw, one was SmackDown.
While we're on that topic, we can mention that the referee in the Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey match was fined.
For doing his job?
Well, he did his job incorrectly.
Well, I don't see him fining every referee that messes up.
Well, there's a difference between messing up on Raw and messing up the main event of WrestleMania.
I like the way it ended.
Why?
I don't know, I just did. To me, it was the end.
Well, here's the problem, though, is that, and I'm leaning more towards believing what Meltzer said directly after this show, the WrestleMania show, that is, and because it was reported by by others that the finish of the match was messed up, and then it was added on that Becky was supposed to tap out Charlotte.
Yeah.
But what Meltzer said right after the show was, no, that was the finish that they planned. The only thing that was messed up was that Ronda's shoulders were up, and the referee didn't start a new count and all that. So he messed up in that regard. Which makes sense, because I think the referee was just thinking, this is the finish, let me count 3, without evaluating the situation.
But, okay, now, you know as well as I do, in the spur of the moment, those referees may miss something.
Yeah.
And if they don't let the referee know how it's supposed to end, which we know they don't always, he may not know that he's supposed to maybe start another count to make it look
Well,
good.
it's not that he's supposed to, it's just that that's what happened.
But if he didn't see her shoulder up, which I don't know.
Well, that's also their job, to be in the position to see that.
Yeah, but how many matches have we seen end the same way? Where somebody's shoulders up and they still get the pin?
Yes. But I think that's what they're trying to do, is try to crack down on that now.
I think personally what they should have done is restarted the match. I think
could have done that.
I think somebody should have just, Vince McMahon just could have came out on stage, which would have been awesome to hear his music live. But he could have just came out on stage and said, no, we ain't going to end it like that. Restart this match. And boom, then they could have got the proper end. And I mean, it's one way they could have done it.
It gets mucky from there. But either way, there was a point in WWE that the whole thing was just that the refs have to call it like a shoot.
Yeah.
And there was even a point that they gave out raises to referees when they did that.
And now you get fined.
Yeah, but he didn't call it like a shoot. So that's the issue.
I bet we don't see him on any big matches for a while.
No, I don't even know who the ref is, so I don't be able to tell. But I would think it's just going to be the fine and move on, which hopefully that president changes things.
Well, I hope it's not a big fine, because referees don't make a lot.
I'm sure it's not that big.
Referees don't make the hundreds of thousands or millions that the wrestlers do.
No.
They make, tens of thousands.
Yeah. And it's a very high-stress job, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure, because you got Vince McMahon yelling in your ear the whole match.
We had Elias out for another performance. I've been waiting to hear this. He stated, anyone who interrupts him, that they are a dead man.
Yeah.
And that is where The Undertaker comes out.
Bastard couldn't show up at WrestleMania.
Elias contemplates leaving. Instead, he decides to run at him. Taker hits him with the boots, a chokeslam, and a tombstone.
The end.
And Chris selfishly hated this.
I did. Because Taker's supposed to be at Mania. We were fucking at Mania. And he didn't want to show. Pisses me off. Does not see that entrance live. But yeah, he'll want to show up on a Raw. Kiss my ass, Taker.
So it's just Taker's fault?
Well, right now, yeah, because that's what I'm mad at.
Okay, well, I think your anger is selfish. I didn't care.
Well, I don't care. You don't care. It is selfish anger. But that's because I've watched the damn person since he debuted, and I wanted to see him live.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is selfish.
But I didn't care to see him live at all.
I mean, I would have liked to just see this segment live, just so I could hear his entrance and say, boom, I saw The Undertaker.
Yeah, it's just like, you and I have both seen Undertaker do his entrance and all other things that he's done throughout his career, the streak and everything else. At this point in his career, I don't need to see him. Like, seeing him enter wouldn't have done that much for me.
Oh, well, I think that's just our age difference.
Because I was an Undertaker fan as a kid, too.
But I'm not saying you weren't, but I just think it's because I've watched him for so much longer than you have. I've got more of a nostalgia connection.
No, I think it's just because you're more bitter than I am.
Well, that could be, too. That's a possibility.
Alright, so get to the main event here, if we don't have anything else that we want to get to. At the start of the show, Kofi Kingston came out to challenge Seth Rollins to a winner-take-all match. His WWE title for Rollins' Universal title.
Which I thought was cool how, I don't know, just how he came out and set it up.
Yeah, this segment was fun, but as soon as they announced that, I was completely sure that this match wouldn't have a finish.
Well, I didn't think it'd have a finish. I figured it'd end in like a disqualification for somebody or a count out, something stupid. And hey, we were right.
So this match was never going to have a finish, and it was just a matter of how.
And they only lasted about 5 minutes,
probably around there.
But it was, to me, I liked that first 5 minutes. I've never seen Kofi and Rollins go at it.
It was just the beginning of what they could have done.
And I think they could tear the house down if given the opportunity.
And those that they decided to end the match with was Sheamus and Cesaro interfering, taking out Kofi, then taking out Seth.
See, I would have rather seen a debut or a returning star come in and interfere.
Yeah, here's the thing with that is that, and this is what sent the crowd into a frenzy and hating this show and chanting AEW and among other things.
This is bullshit.
Yeah. So the whole problem with this is if you're going to do something like that, if you don't want to finish to that match, you have to replace it with something equal or better to it.
Yes.
To be able to have the crowd, well, we didn't get this, but hey, at least we got this.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston tagging against Sheamus and Cesaro was not that.
Well, you knew as soon as they interrupted and they started the tag team match who was going to win. You knew they weren't going to have Kofi and Rollins lose after just winning the titles, the day before.
Yeah.
So it was just a waste. I would have rather them, like Lars, come out instead of earlier, have him come out and interrupt this match.
Yeah. I mean,
what better way to make a statement than go after both champions?
Right. I think another thing is that they could have used it to set up whoever will challenge Seth or Kofi next for their titles.
And
Drew McIntyre, maybe.
And that's also why I have the bar split up.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to split the bar. I think one's going to go after one champion, the other's going to go after the other.
Well, you kind of buried the lead there.
I know.
Because we still haven't gotten to that point.
But I'm good at that. So.
All right.
But we're trying to save time. So.
We'll run through SmackDown now. Braun Strowman attacked Samoa Joe after Samoa Joe attacked R-Truth.
That's a match I'd like to see.
This could be something that they plan on doing, or it could be something that they just want to tease to make you think that one of them will move.
Yeah, and could be a way just to get Braun on SmackDown just to make you, ooh, Braun's here. He might come here.
We had, and I think Braun ended up chasing Joe out of the ring.
Yeah.
The Iconics defeated a local team that they claimed were 45-0.
Yeah. The Brooklyn Bells.
Which, how you don't love the Iconics yet, I'm not sure.
Easy, they speak.
Because I thought their promo here was hilarious.
I'd be okay if Billie Kay wasn't there. Her voice is just so high-pitched, my ears just want to jump off my head.
Paige was backstage watching this.
Oh, you're not even going to cover that first match, huh?
Which one? The 6-man?
Yeah.
What was it? Black, Ricochet, and Ali.
Rico Blackie. Rico Black and Ali.
Yeah, and they beat whoever.
But then after that, RKO out of nowhere to Ali.
And
And then KO came in with a stunner out of nowhere to Rusev.
Yeah, this was filler.
Well, yeah, but it was still kind of cool. I just like how they came in, did it, and left.
Yeah, that was just...
I thought it was fun.
Paige was backstage watching, and in an interview says that she has a team to put up against the Iconics, pretty much.
Yes.
Which I guess Paige will be managing that team.
Which I think is cool. They have her something to do.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, I understand if this was the whole wait, if this was the plan to wait till after Mania to give her something to do, fine. But it almost doesn't feel like that. It feels like an opportunity just came up.
Well, that's how things normally happen.
Well, I know. I'm glad it happened.
And I guess the speculation is it might be the Sky Pirates from NXT.
Which
you could always go back to the roots of Absolution and have Sonya and Mandy back together.
Oh, that's true, too. I didn't think about that. But if it is the Sky Pirates that debut next week, that ruins the TakeOver match. Because it's already been announced, which you have to go on K-side seats.
What is it? Shane versus Baszler or something?
Yeah. Shayna versus Baszler, or Kyrie versus Baszler 5.
Yeah, they've had four different
they've
TakeOver
swapped
matches.
the title a couple times.
In fact, that was the end of the Mae Young Classic, too.
Well, and I just read it before you got here.
Yeah.
That if this happens, then they spoiled it.
Yeah.
Because...
Which that happens sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. And I'm okay with that. I don't care. I'd rather not see any more call-ups from NXT right now.
No.
We've got so many that
There's
aren't
too
working.
many that aren't doing anything.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Kyrie Sane might be ready,
Yeah.
but there's just no room for her on a card that's overfilled, or a roster that's overfilled.
Yeah, I don't disagree. We had the Hardys versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
And the first time ever these two teams have gone one-on-one.
2-1-2.
Well, you know what I mean. Don't be a smart ass. It's my job.
That's what I figured the WrestleMania match would be, but instead they saved it for here.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't make sense.
I theorize is because they just didn't want that many titles changing hands.
Well, why not? I mean, they had 7 others.
Yeah.
Why not have this one? Why not just make them all change hands?
They easily could have.
They pretty much did, almost.
And somewhat surprisingly to me, the Hardys ended up winning.
I was shocked. I really was.
Which I am going to possibly assume that is because the Usos are jumping ship to Raw.
Oh, that could be. It could be. I was also thinking that it was in their contract that maybe that was, for them to come back, or like for Hardy to come back and team with Jeff, was they win the titles. Because, they do have those stipulations in their contracts. I know they do.
I don't think they do.
I know they do.
I don't really think that Jeff or Matt care about titles at this point.
Well, they may not, but I think it was somewhere in their contract that down the road somewhere they get a title match or the titles. And this was just a perfect opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I don't really care to see the Hardys tag team champions at this point.
They're not the team they were 15, 20 years ago, obviously. I mean, it's like having Kurt Angle out there. It's just not the same.
And I'm going to assume that this is going to be a transitional reign.
Yeah, give it a few weeks, maybe the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because give the Superstar shake-up time. Then we'll figure out who the first number 1 contender is. Then they'll have their match at, what is it, Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank is next.
Yeah. And that'll be the end of the title reign, I think.
And the main event featured the New Day in a 6-man tag against The Bar and Drew McIntyre.
Such a weird combination.
Yeah, I guess The Bar met Drew McIntyre on SmackDown and they became friends.
Yeah. Now, did you notice throughout all of SmackDown that pretty much every entrance was done on commercial?
I did. Because even this main event, everyone was in the ring already.
Yeah, you come back from commercial, all 6 people are in the ring.
Yeah.
Why is that? You think they're just trying to save time?
They don't have enough time.
I think they're just trying to save time on TV.
Yeah. I mean, they only have 2 hours to fit everything in.
Yeah, but I was just curious why.
Yeah, I would assume that's why.
I mean, it makes sense if they're trying to save time, because some of those entrances can take several minutes if they let them.
All right, so I guess we'll get into some predictions for the Superstar Shakeup. Do you want to go first?
I don't care. It don't matter to me.
Or maybe we could go back and forth.
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
Okay. I'm going to start with Lacey Evans going to SmackDown. I think that the SmackDown women's division in particular is very
Lacking
is a way of saying it. So I think that we need some people over there. I like Lacey Evans to SmackDown to challenge Becky for the SmackDown title.
Well, with the way they started it, you almost figure she's going to go for one title or the other.
Yeah.
Now, I put her on Raw just because I know Vince McMahon likes to put all the new shiny toys on Raw as much as possible.
That can be true.
So I just put her on Raw to start.
Okay.
I mean, there's no guarantee she'll stay there, but I think that's where she'll start.
So I have two champions swapping brands. I have Joe going to SmackDown and Joe going to Raw and Finn Balor going to SmackDown.
I wouldn't mind that.
And I kind of want to build SmackDown up as where a lot of the good wrestlers can go, where I feel like SmackDown can be the more wrestling-centric show.
See, I used to always consider SmackDown the recovery brand. Because if you come back from an injury or something, you go to SmackDown first.
Mm-hmm.
Just to recover. And it's just never stepped up its game. And I love SmackDown, but it's just, to me, it still feels the same as it did 10 years ago.
I thought in the 2016 to 2017 area, they were really good. When they first did the brand split and they did the brand exclusive pay-per-views. And then they started off with the Backlash show, which was 2.5 hours, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
It was just good wrestling matches.
And now we have co-branded pay-per-views that are 12 hours long.
Yeah. You want to do yours next?
Yeah, I've got Aleister Black on Raw and Ricochet on SmackDown.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling Ali might be brought over to Raw. And we need another cruiserweight type over there.
So you have Aleister Black there?
No, Aleister Black's on Raw. Ali, I have coming to Raw and Ricochet taking his place.
Okay, I see. So you're saying Ricochet takes the place of Ali.
Yeah, and he's going to come to Raw.
Okay. I actually had that same thing. I have Aleister Black to Raw and Ricochet to SmackDown. I don't have Ali moving, though.
That just popped in my head as I was saying it. It made sense to me, so I said it.
Yeah. I would see Aleister Black being able to be more efficient on Raw because I could see Ricochet easily getting lost as a singles guy on Raw. I think it would be easier to build him on SmackDown.
And we don't need any more pointless tag teams.
No.
We've got enough of those that don't get used.
I don't think so. I also have Lars Sullivan going to SmackDown.
So do I.
I put Joe on Raw, so that puts Joe and Roman on, or not Joe and Roman, Joe and Strowman on Raw. So you kind of want to keep a balance of your super heavyweights guys, and I don't really want Lars and Braun Strowman on the same brand. I feel like you should keep those two separated right now.
At least till Lars builds up a little bit.
Yeah, so I like Lars to SmackDown.
I've got Heavy Machinery going to SmackDown.
I forgot about Heavy Machinery. They don't have a brand. I forgot to give them a brand. I'm just going to say keep them on Raw because SmackDown has enough damn tag teams.
They do, and they've got some good tag teams. Not like the Raw made-up tag teams.
I have AJ Styles going to Raw because there is absolutely nothing left for him to do on SmackDown.
He's done everything. He's beaten pretty much everybody.
He's held the championship for probably
Brock Lesnar
1.5 years put together.
Yeah, so I think he needs to move just to refreshen his career.
Do you have another one?
I've got a New Day minus Kofi going to Raw.
Really?
Yep.
Because I have that same thing.
No, you don't.
I have Big E and Xavier split from Kofi Kingston to go to Raw.
Oh my god.
I don't want this to happen. But
No, I don't want it to happen.
Because I feel like this is such a WWE thing to do.
Exactly. I don't want it to happen because I think the New Day, to me, is almost like what you would want to see on wrestling. Whether it be Raw or SmackDown. They're the trio that you want to see that's going to make you have fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd rather see them split and come here than turn on Kofi.
Right, I agree. And you can at least keep a New Day tag team with Big E and Xavier together.
Yeah. And I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be something different. I'd worry about Kofi being on his own. Especially after his championship reign is over, what they do with him from there.
Well,
I think it'd be easy for him to get lost without the team.
Yeah, it could be. I really don't know. I see where he might get lost though.
I also have the Usos going to Raw because I also think that same as AJ, they've done everything they can on SmackDown.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing though, and I didn't think about it, is that you keep. I think the Usos and the New Day really need to be split apart.
They really do because, I mean, they're like the two biggest tag teams on SmackDown. And they've gone against each other 100 times. Don't get me wrong, each time is a great match.
Yeah.
But we can only see so many of the same thing.
Yeah, but I do think that is the reason that the Usos dropped the titles here is because they're going to move them.
I think you're right on that. I do.
Do you have another one?
I've got the Sky Pirates going to SmackDown. No, that's it.
Okay. I'll run through the rest of mine then. Let's see. Okay, I only have a few more. I have Drew McIntyre going to SmackDown.
I kind of thought that with the way it played out.
Because I think Drew has been completely lost on Raw for the most part, being stuck with lackeys and.
Well, not just that, but now that the Roman angle's closed, with the match at Mania, it's time for him to move on.
Yeah, I think on SmackDown he can really turn into more of a main event guy. I even think he should be Kofi's first challenger for the WWE title.
Do you think he should win it from Kofi?
No.
Okay.
But I think he should be in that mix.
Okay, now I agree with you because if you would have said yeah, I would have had to whoop your ass on air.
I also have Charlotte going to Raw.
No.
I don't really have much reason, but I think that she's just going to move over to Raw, just because I could see wanting to make her the face of that division.
I see you're staying on SmackDown. Because
what do you think she does there?
Oh, easy. She's gonna convince McMahon to give her a title shot against Becky for the SmackDown Women's title.
Okay, so you don't think it'll be Lacey that takes it from Becky?
No, Lacey's gonna take it from Charlotte.
Okay. And finally, I have Bayley and Sasha Banks moving to SmackDown because...
Who cares?
Well, no. Because, as I mentioned before, the SmackDown's women's division is much weaker.
Yeah.
I think Bayley and Banks, whether a tag team or both as singles, could really shine more on SmackDown than they can on Raw.
And there's really not very many female tag teams that are actual tag teams, like, and I hate to say this, God, I hate saying this, but like the Iconics.
So you're saying you like the Iconics?
No, I'm not saying anything.
I knew you'd come around.
But, they came in as a tag team, pretty much. Debut, main roster.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's like the Usos. You don't want to split the Usos up. You wouldn't split the Iconics up, at least, not right now. But Sasha and Bayley could be split up or teamed together.
Yes.
They're versatile, and I think that would work with SmackDown.
Yeah, and I could see them being split, but I don't really think that they're going to split many women's tag teams because there aren't enough to split.
Yeah, there's nothing to split unless they're just going to randomly form more tag teams. Okay, well, your partner's gone. You're going to go with her.
Yeah, so.
Now, one more rumor before we're finished. Beth Phoenix is supposed to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
At least for the European tour.
Well, I saw that on Twitter. She posted asking for dream matches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I didn't see that at all.
I did happen to see that. We're only at 48 minutes, so I'll try to fill a little more time. But I did want to mention that because of the way they flipped the schedule around, that Money in the Bank is our next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And Money in the Bank is always one of my favorite pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it really shows you the direction that they're going over the next...
It can...
Over, like, the next year. Really.
I was going to say the next 6 to 8 months, but yeah, 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming they're going to have one women's Money in the Bank and one men's Money in the Bank.
Oh, of course.
And there was rumors of them doing a tag team one last year, but they never ended up doing it.
Basically, if they're going to do one, they're going to have to do the other.
Yeah.
And we don't need a men's and women's ladder in the bank match, or Money in the Bank match, and a men and women's tag Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That's 4 ladder matches.
Well, I don't think there's room to do the women's tag division.
I don't even think they should do any tag division.
No, I don't think so either. But it's always a possibility.
Oh, this WWE, anything's possible.
But I wanted to put you on the spot and see if we can try to predict, like a month in advance, who's going to win the briefcases.
Oh, God. You might hate me for this.
I have an idea for the men's one, too.
I don't have an idea for the men's. I have an idea for the women's.
Okay.
Carmella again.
I can see it.
Because, she won the Battle Royal. She mentioned it on SmackDown that last year she won Money in the Bank. So I could see it going that way again, except without James Ellsworth.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure who to pick for the women's, but you want to hear my prediction for the men's?
Sure.
I think Baron Corbin is going to win it again.
No. I don't think because he's already got over with Kurt Angle. I'm not going to say over with the crowd, but
I think, he's over as a heel.
Yeah, he's over as a heel. And he's got the momentum. I don't think he's going to get it. Of course, we will see. But
I think that they're going to continue. I think that they saw that Angle win as a chance to really push him further. Okay. So I could see him winning the Money in the Bank and possibly being the one that beats Rollins for the title.
No, I hope not.
All right. Do you have a prediction for the men's?
I'm going to go out of left field.
Okay.
I'm not even going to be in the same ballpark. I'm going to go Gronkowski.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever
heard.
Come on, give me a real one.
Okay. Well, the reason I said that is because I was thinking Mojo. Because we've seen him on TV lately, and
he broke the mirror this week.
Yeah,
and he had like some face paint on him.
But we have a month until we get there, so you never know what's going to happen. You never know; they could push him.
They could
right off a cliff.
I'm trying to think of others that are really favorites.
Yeah, I don't know who else that I would choose. I mean.
It seems like more and more that they haven't used it as much to elevate people.
No.
Like, let's think who won it last year. Strowman won it, and Bliss won it.
Mm-hmm.
And
now Bliss cashed
in that same night.
Which was awesome.
Which, was cool.
You don't get it very often.
And Strowman ended up cashing in and losing to Roman in the Hell in a Cell thing.
Which is so sad.
I guess he didn't lose because the match never ended. It's still going on to this day.
Yeah, along with Curtis Axel's Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
It is noted that AJ Styles has an injury to his hip from Mania. It happened when he did the phenomenal forearm to Randy Orton while he was on the floor.
Oh, that spot, yeah.
Yeah, apparently that he hurt his hip.
I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't see him, favorite at all.
Well, I remember it was weird when they did the finish, and it felt like he, I don't know if he hesitated or if he started to lose his balance on the ropes, but it took him a second to actually jump off for the forearm.
Yeah. And then if you do go on to Cage Side Seats, there's a nice little article with an interview from Becky Lynch about how Ronda Rousey can't hack the schedule and the life of.
I've listened to plenty of interviews from Becky. The same thing.
I got a kick out of reading it. I mean, I'm not saying that's how I feel. It was just a fun read.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure some of it's true. They do go 52 weeks a year. They don't have one fight and get 6 months off.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard those interviews. Maybe Owens could win.
Okay, that would be good. I forgot he was back because, we haven't really seen him.
Or Lars is up there, too, if they want to put the rocket on him.
I can't see him winning a ladder match, though. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't see it.
Well, he can.
Yeah, he could.
It's just whatever they want to do. Lars was a part of that great NXT ladder match. That the first North American title match, which I know you've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Lars didn't really do a whole lot in that match. I'm just scrolling through the roster trying to find someone else who could win.
Epica.
I could see Orton winning.
No.
And cashing in on Kofi at some point.
That could be how he cashes in and wins, like at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I see it.
I don't think he needs to win, but they could.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good way to set up, because you know what they say, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to win. If you can pick your spot.
I'll put McIntyre in the conversation. I don't really think he'll win, but I'll put him in the conversation.
Could you imagine if, Xavier Woods won and decided to go for Kofi?
I would like that.
That'd be interesting. Not like a flop, not a face heel turn, but just a competition standard. I'd like it.
Well, I think he'd have to turn heel if he's going against Kofi.
Oh, for that he'd have to. I don't want to see him turn heel. I just want to see the match because I think it'd be a nice, good match between the two.
And for the women's, I'll put Lacey Evans and Mandy Rose are probably at the top of my list.
Okay.
Because they're both blonde.
Yeah, and that's what Vince likes.
Yeah. That's all there is. Dana Brooke, even. What about her?
Well,
out of nowhere winning the Money in the Bank.
And I might be able to see that because, like I mentioned before we went on air, I was wondering if she's getting a push because she had a nice showing during the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Against the Riot Squad.
And she got cheered.
And she got TV time on Raw. So I might be able to see that. Maybe they're going to finally give her a push.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything with her since she pretty much debuted.
No, she was Charlotte's.
She's always been somebody's lackey.
Heavy. Yeah.
And then Titus Worldwide's status keeper or statistic keeper. Statisticianist.
Yeah. But I'm still going to go out on a limb and say that Corbin wins the men's Money in the Bank match. Like, I feel like that is a strong possibility.
Okay.
And I feel like probably not a lot of people think that. But I just wanted to state it here so that if and when he does win it,
it's on record.
Then I can gloat.
Okay.
Just like Corbin would do after he won it.
And when he doesn't, then I can laugh.
Well, see,
you were wrong.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I'm supposed to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, this is such an out there prediction. I don't feel like I lose anything by being wrong.
That's true. You want to put any money on this wager?
Nope.
Okay.
Unless you're giving me, like, odds on it.
Oh, no odds.
Just straight up.
Just straight up.
No, then no. If you gave me, like, maybe 3-1, maybe.
And, after our WrestleMania bet, I don't think we should even try and bet on anything. I mean...
That's the only way we'll get a clean finish.
I mean... Yeah, no shit. But, think about it.
Because that happened last time, too.
We had, 17 matches, 5 bonus questions, and we're damn tied.
Yeah.
We do it every month. We try to predict who's going to win. And we're pretty damn close every time.
Yeah.
I think you won one. I think I've won one. We've tied twice, I think.
Well, I think now, since I've been keeping track, which I think was since Royal Rumble, we are 2. I've won 2. You've won 1. And we've tied twice.
Well, we've only had 4 pay-per-views.
Let's see. Royal Rumble, Fastlane, Elimination Chamber,
Mania.
Okay, so maybe we've only tied once. I know you've won one, and I'm pretty sure I've won 2.
So, I mean, we're still close. So, I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I like these little side stuff.
Money in the Bank will be a fun one to predict, too, because it could go any direction.
Well, especially once we figure out who's going to be in it.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier to figure out who's going to
I don't even know what date it is. I know it's in May.
Probably like the middle of the month.
So we've still got a while.
Yeah.
But we were able to stretch this to an hour. So,
Okay, we hit the hour mark.
So I can at least feel decent about posting this.
And it won't take very long to upload either.
No, it'll be a short little upload.
That's okay. There wasn't much to cover. Next week will be because of all the new superstars.
Yeah.
So next week we'll be
back on schedule, but it's mostly just because I've been just busy.
Well, yes. I mean, we got home, Monday night. You went to work Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. You work tonight.
Yeah, like, the only time that I have not spent sleeping was to watch Raw, like, this morning.
Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown this morning.
Oh, you watched it this morning?
Well, I got home from work, and I slept from probably like 6 to midnight.
Oh, shit.
And then I woke up and watched Raw, and then I watched half of SmackDown, and it was during the Usos and Hardy match that I started, like, dazing to sleep. And I thought about just, like, powering through, but then I was just like, I'll set an alarm for the morning. I'll finish watching this, and that was that.
Nice.
But we got to get out of here. We will see you next week. I think it'll be a full detailed review next week.
Yeah, it should be.
So sign us off, Chris.
All right. Until next week, we will wrestle you later.